Hello again, friends. An exciting card this weekend. It's absolutely stacked, isn't it? I can't really remember off the top of my head, like lower down on the card who's on there. But the main reason why I'm doing this video is, of course, it's about the main event. Israel Adesanya versus Marvin Emotional Vettori. Takeaways from this far, I think, or things to observe. Range management and entries is, I think, is going to be one of the biggest things in this fight, because it's clearly what's going to happen in this fight. But Vettori, obviously he can strike, but his easiest path to victory is going to be through the grappling, 100%. But the thing that is, he always uses the feints, the setups, and the threats. Now, the threats are the very important thing. And I believe there wasn't enough of them in his last fight. If anything, I don't really see any threats. And when I say threats, I don't mean feints. When I say a threat, to me, a threat is something that I do, but an opponent would do to put someone off, or they have to get involved for it to hit them. What I mean by that is that knee threat. Knee threat starts double legs and single legs. It really does. And I found there wasn't any in his last fight. I think they'll be back quite strongly this fight. Things to really take away. Emotions, like I mentioned a moment ago with Marvin. Emotions can be a good thing. They can also be a bad thing, especially when things ain't going your way. It's just another fuel expenditure. Understand what I'm saying? But then on the flip side, if he does win and go on, I'll be quite interested to see how contender Marvin compares to champ Marvin, because to keep them same kind of RPMs as a champ is very difficult. What else is there to really think about in this fight? I think, again, it's back on the feints and the setups and the entries. Like, I say this in my gym all the time when teaching, and I know it's a student who have his hands up really high, but then as they step in to throw the shot, their hands drop a bit. And I always tell people, when is the most important moment? Well, of course, when you step in to hit that person, it isn't when you're moving around and they're out there, and that isn't really the important time, is it? The important time is when you step in to actually make contact. What happens in that moment? And I find a lot of people fight like this. One opponent does something and the other reacts to it, or the other one does something and the opponent reacts to it. Now, the reason why a lot of people fight like that, because seems like that seems to be, well, the best way: reactions, fitness, and ability to weather head trauma. That's how a lot of people seem to fight. And the way that I feel is the most important things about fights is control or ownership or mastery even of distance, or not even distance, direction, setups, and pace. I've been doing a lot of these kinds of online classes with my students and people who don't get in often to catch these little things, but I really feel we're going to see a display of setups and distance, or direction, I should say, rather. Because the thing is, if he continues to have such good threats, so the uppercut, the knee, is a good feint range, because you can't change levels on someone who's always showing you the uppercut or always showing you the knee. So that makes it a stand-up bout in the outside of the cage. And only when we're up against the cage does it seem that with most of his opponents before, it's the only time he really has to concern himself with takedowns and wrestling. So it'd be really interesting to see how Marvin can tackle this. I'm really interested, I should say, rather. So, and then I'll see you on Sunday, possibly Monday, lots of coaching and all that kind of thing to do. and we'll do a little video about to see what we've learned. But yes, really interested. Other things I've got to think about. What else is on the card? Let me just quickly check the notes. I know we've got Davison Figueroa versus Brandon Moreno. Now that should be a fun fight. Bit different. Got quite a few thoughts about that. I should have maybe done a video. And Leon Edwards versus Nate Diaz. Again, a very, very interesting fight. And not as clear cut, I think, as a lot of people would lead you to believe. But yeah, interesting. The whole card stacked, tremendous. But can't do a long one. Got to get back to the gym. More teaching, more training to be done. Got my own fight coming up, obviously. So let's see if I can put all these things to theories I've been working on. A quick shout out to, obviously, Granite Gym. I love you, baby. LTRSupplies. Love you, homies. Chuck and Blade Burgers. Love you, homies. Cheeky Clucker. Love you, babies. So let's get back into the gym. Let's keep training. Gotta keep working myself. Absolutely love this life, and long may it continue. Peace.